Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It is end of June, and I thought I'd give you a garden and wicking bed update today. As you can see, the beans are doing absolutely magnificent. There's no fruit yet, but we are getting close. Over here, the strawberries have just taken off on this half of the wicking bed. We've gotten quite a few strawberries so far. I freshly planted one tomato plant that I got from a friend here, and I have a few colored carrots. I don't know if it was just too cold or too wet earlier this year, but they did not take off. None of my carrots this year are taking off. Over here we've got some more beans and two more tomato plants. That one's looking a little sad. I'm sure he'll be all right. As you can see, the ground is damp right underneath, but I will get a little extra water for those two in a minute here after I shoot video. The beets are doing all right. They're a little bit slow, but that's fine. And over here again, just the regular carrots. It was just a bad year for them, I guess. Normally they take right off in these. The corn, I don't remember planting corn. Maybe my mother planted corn. Anyways, the corn is doing quite well. Probably have to brace that. I've got some lettuce and some spinach growing in here as well. I'm definitely gonna have to brace that when the winds pick up. Anyways, the broccoli and this lettuce. This is why I write everything down. I don't remember where everything is. It is not zucchini squash. It is not summer squash either. All right, so the broccoli and I think these are Romanian lettuce are doing quite well. It looks like my mother just transplanted some of these since I got the main raised beds up finally. I know I'm late, I'm like a month behind, but don't worry, if I'm only a month behind, that's on time. It's everything else, I'm about 5 years behind. And the Jerusalem artichokes are doing absolutely magnificent right now. They are just huge. I haven't dug any of them up yet, but I will shortly just to investigate and see what they look like down in there. I recently, this morning, did soil temperatures, and all of these wicking beds this morning were somewhere between 60 and 65 degrees and very damp. Like I said, I fill these once a week if they need it with water, and then set the water height with all of the pipes right there. I can angle those up or down and it works magnificent. I forget that I have to water them sometimes, but that's okay because they've got like 70 gallons of water in them. And with the rainstorms that we've gotten lately, it's not too bad. Started clearing off this patch of rocks. Got this nice cool walkway between the wicking beds. We've got some wild, I don't know if these are raspberries or black raspberries or both. I forgot what I planted here. But the issue is I got to change this fence out to a taller fence. Once I get that taller fence in here, I'm going to just graft those berries along that fence, which will be perfect because I'll have the wicking beds, a nice cool pathway, berries, gigantic apple tree, which I have recently thinned out a little bit. It looks like I've got an entirely dead main branch on it. Yep. So this apple tree has actually got, I think 3 or 4, well, probably only 2 now. So one of the other main branches died. Now it looks like this main branch is dead too, so I'll take that. So I'll be down to just 2 apples instead of the 4 apples that my grandfather grafted onto that tree when my parents moved in here. Maybe I'll graft another set onto it later. Anyways, then we move on down. As you can see, the fence for the garden is now up. Electricity is not over here yet. It is along that southern section, and then to that post where it goes just down to the regular electric fence. but then I'm going to just run it along all the way, so I'll be surrounded by electric fence. The only way in and out is this fence. It's kind of hard to see. Let me get off to the side a little bit, but we've got 4 strands of electric fence going across right here, so that'll keep out most stuff. Raccoons and smaller stuff can still obviously crawl through underneath that lower one, but I've never really had an issue with raccoons, and most of the stuff that they'd be interested in is up there in the wicking beds, which will be wrapped around inside that other fence next time I do it. I can, now that I have this almost all set up, redo this gate a little bit later. You can see my tracks where I was filling these with. I just got it done, and I just have to be careful because I also have one of my drains right here. But once I redo this, redesign that, I won't have to worry about anything getting in here. Right there, the currant berries that my dad put in probably 2 decades ago. They're a little bit iffy. Sometimes they come, sometimes they don't. They're just starting to turn red right now. There's a good batch. Once those are all red, you can just pick them and eat them. They're quite bitter. I enjoy them, but I've got to clean the grass out along them. Do that in a little bit. I've got my 3 surviving blueberry bushes that are a little dry. I just watered them again. There was a dozen of them planted along here that my sister and mother wanted, but these 3 have survived. I haven't gotten blueberries from them yet. I don't remember what year it was that those got planted. This is why I write everything down. I just don't have my notebook with me today. But then you can see the cold frames did not get used this year. I was too busy doing other stuff, and by the time I got everything set and ready, they are overgrown, so I have to empty them, and I already have almost everything sprouted. So it wasn't worth it, so I just gotta clean them out, and right now they're more of just cold storage. So, but here we see the raised beds that I got, and I've got 10 tomato plants that one of my friends gave me. I've got 10 more tomato plants up here in this one, and 6 more over in this one. Then there was a few more, no, 5 in this one, and there was the 4 up. It ends up I had like 30 tomato plants from him, and that's only because he had 70 already and decided he didn't need 100. So they just got planted this morning. These are quite damp underneath. As soon as you move the topsoil, everything's nice. The ground temperature in all of these when I checked it this morning was 75. Now that we're getting towards high noon, I'll check it again, just see how it is. There's the broccoli that my mother must have transplanted this morning when I wasn't looking. And then everything has been watered, so I'm sure they'll all take off here shortly. Just the shock of being transplanted sometimes will do that. And let's see, we got Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and these are cabbage down here. So we'll see how that goes. And then of course we have the comfrey, which is in its midsummer slump. If you guys have trouble attracting bees or health beneficial insects and hummingbirds, this stuff is great. It grows fast. It's got a lot of medicinal herbs, especially if you got cut or scraped. It's one reason I like it. And it grows back every year. You can see probably a dozen bees on it already. But this stuff just blooms. I gotta spread this out. I'll take a bunch, go plant it someplace, and then just let that all regrow. Potato boxes. I've got some red potatoes set up right now. I'm going to do some more, probably 2 more over here. and then I'll be able to build those up. I like being able to mow in between all of this. It really, really helps keep the grass down, keep the ticks down. You can walk through here aside from my little mud hole right there where I was turning around and stuff, but that'll grow in quite nicely. And then it allows you to walk. If it's a dry year, I can let it grow up some. It'll keep the ground cooler. And if it's a wet year, I can keep it down like it is now. And you're not walking through mud, you're walking on grass. And I can pull the wheeler in and around, except for right there, that one spot right there. The wheeler can go on either side of everything. So if I need to add dirt, take dirt out, add plants, take plants out, any of that sort of stuff, I can just be right beside it with the wheeler. Plus, you're not on your hands and knees. And since my parents are getting elderly, they don't get up and down quite as nicely and easily. So if it works for them, it'll work for me when I'm older as well. Consider them my guinea pigs. This one is empty right now. I'm going to fill this one with rutabagas and see how they do in this one. And then this one is my onion patch. So I think I have 60 or 80 onions in here, and then we'll see how that goes. So that was the tour of the wicking beds and the garden at the end of June. We are coming up on July. The year's already half done and over with. Hope you guys are making the most of it and staying safe in this crazy world and crazy times. Bye for now.